And you're listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA, The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall like we do. Streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio. As we just wrapped up with our friends, Career Source, a lot of great information there. CareerSourceCLM.com for more of the information that we were discussing, we talked about with Mr. Dale French, as a lot of good stuff in the idea of what maybe your expectations could be in seeing yourself a little bit better future and a little bit more security as you come towards the end of 2020 when it comes to getting back into the workforce. If you had a big monumental change in lieu of COVID-19 and like we said, dislocated from your work and such, there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to look a little bit, and part of what we do here at The Source is to give you that information overall. As we do, it's, like we said, a lot of good stuff from their virtual job fair that's coming up next Wednesday at 1 p.m., where you can register for that virtual job fair, CareerSourceCLM.com. And for any information that you have about, or any information you want to get, and any questions you have, as far as seeing them by appointment only, but you can give them a call to set up that appointment or have any questions be answered, 732-1700. One of the other good stuff that we were actually talking about a little off air there for a little bit is in lieu of Lockheed Martin and their Assembly of Tech apprenticeship program that they're looking, a big project they've been putting together. We talked a little bit about that. That's something that I know they're going to come back and talk more about. And then just to the conversation about what's going on with the e-commerce park, of what we already know from last week's information of Amazon making it official that they will be coming to Ocala, as well as what we have with the expedited interest of building like they have with Dollar Tree and already having AutoZone and Chewy and FedEx, and the opportunities in Ocala are there. And for more information, Career Source is one of those big mediators in the idea of getting you more information and actually helping you get placed within the workforce and giving you the information that's necessary to make that life change to maybe be more secure when it comes to some volatile times within the world and society. And that's one of them. So that's a lot of good stuff there, and happy to have them on. Happy to have somebody back in the studio. That's true. Happy to have somebody back in the studio to talk a little bit about that. And shout out to Laura Burns there, as I know she worked so hard with calling in and everything that we did through the phone, and the adjustments and her working from home and all that stuff. So pleased to have them back, and for Mr. French here being in the studio was great stuff. So good show for you that we've had here, AM Ocala Live, as now we're 20 minutes past the top of the 10 o'clock hour, and we still got more good show for you as we roll through this Wednesday, this middle of the week, this hump day, June 17th, as we basically have been rolling through some beautiful weather for these last few days that we've been talking about, as it's been a little bit cooler in the evenings, under 70 degrees for our lows, as we can see 70 degrees for the low tonight, which making it a nice cool morning, a little bit more cool and crisp and with a little bit less humidity, which has been great. At the same time, too, we still have an expectation of thunderstorms for the rest of the week, as we take a look at now a 40% chance for the afternoon tomorrow and into Friday and into Saturday. But you know what? At the same time, we're seeing highs in the mid to upper 80s, as well as, like we said, the lows down in the 70s. So you can't beat that nonetheless. Like we said, more good show for you coming up. As like we said, we're 8 minutes before the bottom of the hour here, and we wanted to touch base on some other conversation items. When we come back from the break at the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour, we'll be finishing out and rounding out the show with our news bits as our on this day in history. Boy, I am there's a lot going on. My head's still spinning, so a lot of conversation so early in the morning gets me to a point where I'm hearing this point of the day, and I just I gotta zoom in. I gotta bring it together. But nonetheless, as we take a look here, some fun stuff to talk about before we get to the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour. As they say, news attacks here. Another study. There's been a lot of studies that come in with the idea of chocolate. It says here another study has concluded that chocolate is good for the heart, the earthy dark chocolate, not the heavy milk chocolate and sugary kind. It's the stuff that's deep and dark, which I know more and more people I talk about who like chocolate actually prefer the dark chocolate because they like that rich, velvety, bold taste, which they're saying is concluded that chocolate is good for the heart, as it's one of those things that is the guilty pleasure that you can take a little bit of the guilt away. Now, as I know for some people, that's no problem there. For me, I'm not a big fan of chocolate. I've got to be specifically in the mood for it. I don't know what it was. Sometimes I get told I'm an oddity. I might not even be an American. That I don't like chocolate as often as so many people do. And most of the time, when I do have a chocolate, it's got to be with something heavy like peanut butter or caramel or something like that. But nonetheless, I'm not a big chocolate fan. Not at all. Not at all. But it is good for your heart, so that's important there. As we take a look here, too, it says the NFL, the National Football League, will observe Juneteenth as a league holiday. The National Football League announced in an internal memo that it will observe Juneteenth as a league holiday, joining the increasing ranks of companies, including Google, Nike, and Twitter, as they plan to give their employees June 19th off, which commemorates the end of legal slavery in the U.S. in 1865, when the last remaining enslaved Americans were freed from the binds of the Confederacy at the end of the Civil War, and is celebrated annually within the black community. And with that, the Juneteenth has now been mentioned to be honored by the NFL as giving folks the day off of June 19th, which we know is this coming Friday. As like we said, other companies that have been doing it, such as Google, Nike, and Twitter, as it's becoming a little bit of a rolling trend. And it makes you wonder if those are the things that really start to get the conversation rolling about a national holiday with it, and what that would basically bring to it, I guess, overall. As they say, Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, or Celebration Day. There it is. I gotta say it right. Celebration Day is what they're considering as an American holiday created annually on June 19th, as it commemorates June 19th, 1865, when Union General Gordon Granger pretty much read federal orders in Galveston, Texas, that all previous enslaved people in Texas were free, as they took a look here for the idea that all previously enslaved people in Texas were free, although the Emancipation Proclamation had formally freed them almost 2.5 years earlier, and the American Civil War had largely ended with the defeat of the Confederates in April. Texas was the most remote of the slave states, with a low presence of Union troops, so enforcement of the proclamation had been slow and inconsistent. As they said, celebration dates to 1866 at first, involving church-centered community gatherings in Texas, as it spread across the South and became more commercialized in the 1920s and the 1930s, after centering around a food festival. And then during the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, it was eclipsed by the struggle of post-war civil rights, but grew in popularity in the 1970s with the focus on African-American freedom and arts. By the 21st century, Juneteenth was celebrated in most major cities across the United States, as activists and campaigning the United States Congress to recognize Juneteenth as a national holiday. And Juneteenth is recognized as a state holiday or special day of observance in 47 of the 50 states. Now, modern observance is primarily in local celebrations. Traditions include public readings of the Emancipation Proclamation, singing traditional songs such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and reading of works by noted African-American writers such as Ralph Ellison and Maya Angelou. Celebrations include rodeos, state fairs, cookouts, reunions, family reunions, historical reenactments, and Miss Juneteenth contests. As the Muskogos, the descendants of Black Seminoles of Kalu, Mexico, who also celebrate Juneteenth. So now being recognized as a league holiday by the National Football League. So that's a little something different, a little interesting, as we coming up next with the idea of on this day in history. So there's a little bit there, and something I learned nonetheless. But all good. As we're coming to the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour, like we said, more good show coming your way, right here at AM Ocala Live. As we come back, we'll be doing On This Day in History and rounding out the show. We've got some good stuff here to take a look at of what happened on this day, June 17th, as we go back to, get this, 1631. Incredible. But a lot of good stuff, like we said. WOCA Ocala, WOCA The Source. We'll be back right after this.
News. I'm Chris Foster. Senate Republicans follow up President Trump's executive order on police reform with legislation being announced today. House Democrats are working on their own version. Acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf says abusive officers should be held accountable, but denies there's systemic racism in law enforcement.
I think it's very dangerous that we paint a broad brush of law enforcement. We take a couple of isolated incidents and say that all law enforcement are systematic racists and they're all bad people.
He was on Fox and Friends. About 21 states are seeing coronavirus cases go down, with 21 going up, some really spiking.
Arizona's ICU capacity is at more than 80%, while in Texas, COVID hospitalizations reached an all-time high this week. Florida had more than 2,700 new cases, its largest one-day increase since the pandemic began.
Fox's Casey Stiegel. America's listening to Fox News.
The following is a true story.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel a timeshare. And that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or we'll give your money back. That's what makes us different.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-660-1771. That's 800-660-1771. 800-660-1771.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Looking for fun and educational online activities for children? Then check out Teaching Tuesdays, the Appleton Museum of Art's free weekly art project video series. These educational videos feature art projects that can easily be done from home with basic art supplies and materials. A new video is posted each week at 10 a.m. on the Appleton's Facebook page, website, and YouTube channel. For more information, visit appletonmuseum.org.
Hey, this is Matt from Crossroad Auto Sales. I want to invite you to come over and check out our vehicles. All of our vehicles at Crossroad Auto Sales go through a rigorous 100-point safety inspection. We work with most outside finance companies, and we even have in-house financing available. Stop by today at 1800 Northwest 10th Street or give me a call at 690-6695. That's 690-6695. Crossroad Auto Sales. We won't leave you stranded at the crossroad.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
My son was 20 years old when he was prescribed opioid. It took him 5 days to get addicted. I'm not supposed to be the one to go get his suit and tie and pick which sneakers that I'm going to bury him in. My son overdosed at the age of 22 years old.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Visit cdc.gov/RX awareness.
Brought to you by the Department of Health in Marion County and Ocala Fire Rescue.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368.
WOCA. Today will be mostly sunny, though there will be a shower or thunderstorm in some spots. High today, 88 to 90. For tonight, turning out to be clear to partly cloudy, low 70 to 74. For tomorrow, sun and clouds throughout the day with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon. Thursday's high 84 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Kevin Snyder.
WOCA.
Listening to AM Ocala Live, WOC The Source. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Your host, Adam McEwen, as we've had a good show, busy show for you here this Wednesday. Moving right along as we are now coming up on 20 minutes before the top of the 11 o'clock hour. To round out the show, it is time for us to give you a little bit of what we consider a history lesson, if you will. Just some more interesting facts that we can touch on as we take a look.
And now, this day in history.
As we take a look back on this day in history, June 17th, as we look at the events that took place on this day back in history. As we start out, 1631. This one is really interesting here. It was that far back, but as we take a look, after a noble woman died during childbirth her husband, Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan I, spent the next 20 years building her tomb. And building her tomb was the Taj Mahal, crown of the palace. It was on this date in 1631. So the Taj Mahal is an ivory white marble mausoleum on the southern bank of the river Yuma in the Indian city of Agra. As it was commissioned in 1632, like we said, the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan has reigned from 1628 to 1658 to house the tomb of his favorite wife, Mumsa Mahal. It's also housed the tomb of Shah Jahan himself, as the tomb is the centerpiece of a 17-hectare or 42-acre complex. It says includes a mosaic and a guest house, and is set in the formal gardens that is bounded on all three sides by the granulated wall. It says construction of the mausoleum was essentially completed in 1643, but work continued on other phases of the project for another 10 years. The Taj Mahal as complex is believed to have been completed in its entirety in 1653 at a cost estimated at the time to be around 32 million rupees, which in 2020 would be approximately 70 billion rupees, which is about $916 million. The construction project employed some 20,000 artisans under the guidance of a board of architects led by the court architect to the emperor, Ustad Ahmed Lahori. As the Taj Mahal was designated as a UNESCO or UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 for being the jewel of Muslim art in India and one of the universally admired masterpieces of World Heritage. It is regarded by many as the best example of Mughal architecture and a symbol of India's rich history, as the Taj Mahal attracts nearly 7 to 8 million visitors per year. As they said, in 2007, it was declared a winner of the new 7 Wonders of the World initiative. Incredible. So it was on this day in history, after a noble woman had died giving childbirth, her husband spent the next 20 years building her tomb, the Taj Mahal. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. As we take a look here, moving a little bit forward, pretty far forward in time, it says in 1839, Hawaii's king, let me get this name right, Hawaiian's king Kamehameha III issued the Edict of Toleration, giving Roman Catholics the freedom to worship in the Hawaiian Islands back in 1839. I'm going to say that one more time. Hawaiian's king Kamehameha. That's what it is, Kamehameha. As issued the Edict of Toleration, giving the Roman Catholics the freedom to worship in the islands back in 1839. Moving on to 1885, the Statue of Liberty arrives in New York on this day in history in 1885, packed in 241 crates as a gift from France. It says around 1865, as the American Civil War drew close, the French historian Edouard de La Boile, that's right, having trouble with names today, proposed that the French create a statue to give to the United States in celebration of the nation's success in building a viable democracy. The sculptor Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, known for the large-scale sculptures, earned the commission. The goal was to design the sculpture in time for the centennial of the Declaration of Independence for 1876. The project would be a joint effort between the two countries. The French people were responsible for the statue and its assembly, while the Americans who build the pedestal on which it would stand, and a symbol of the friendship between the people. As it says here, it says the cool things about it is the Statue of Liberty as the joint effort between France and the United States, intended to commemorate the lasting friendship between the peoples of the two nations, as the French sculptor, like we mentioned, Frederick Augustus Bartholdi, created the statue itself out of sheets of hammered copper, while Alexander Gustave Eiffel, the man behind the famed Eiffel Tower, designed the statue's steel framework. The Statue of Liberty was given in the United States on this day in history, like we said, in the crates, and erected at a top American-designed pedestal on a small island in Upper New York Bay, now known as Liberty Island, dedicated by President Grover Cleveland in 1886. Over the years, the statue stood tall as millions of immigrants arrived in America via nearby Ellis Island. In 1986, it underwent an extensive renovation in honor of the centennial of its dedication. It says today the Statue of Liberty remains an enduring symbol of freedom and democracy, as well as one of the world's most recognizable landmarks, like we said. And as they mention here, it says, did you know that the base of the Statue of Liberty's pedestal contains exhibits on the monument's history, including the original 1886 torch? It says visitors access the Statue of Liberty's torch was halted for good after the German operatives set off an explosion on the nearby Black Tom Peninsula in July 1916 during World War I. It says, due to the need to raise funds for the statue, work on the sculpture did not begin until 1875. It says Bartholdi's massive creation, titled Statue of Liberty's Enlightening the World, depicted a woman holding a torch in her raised right hand and a tablet in her left, upon which was engraved July 4th, 1776. It's the adoption date of the Declaration of Independence. Bartholdi, who is said to have modeled the woman's face after that of his mother, hammered large copper sheets to create the statue's skin using a technique called repousse. To create the skeleton on which the skin would be assembled, like we said, he called on Alexandra Gustave Eiffel, designer of Paris's Eiffel Tower. Along with that, Eiffel built a skeleton out of iron, pylon, and steel that was allowed the copper skin to move independently, and a necessary condition for the strong winds it would endure in the chosen location of the New York harbor. As while work went on in France for on the actual statue, fundraising efforts continued in the United States for the pedestal, including contests, benefits, and exhibitions. It says, near the end, the leading New York newspaper, Joseph Pulitzer, used his paper, The World, to raise the last necessary funds, and designed by American architect Richard Morris Hunt, the statue's pedestal was constructed inside the courtyard of Fort Wood, a fortress built for the War of 1812 and located in Bedloe's Island off the southern tip of Manhattan in Upper New York Bay. Incredible, as that was on this day in history back in 1885, packed in 241 crates as a gift from France, the Statue of Liberty. And I've been to New York twice, and I still haven't gone to see the Statue of Liberty. I've seen it from the air, very high up, but that's about it. Moving on, as we're going to get into 1947, we're going to take a short little break, and then we come back. We'll round out some of the other dates within history here and round out our show, AM Ocala Live, for this Wednesday. We'll be back right after this.
As the state of Florida continues to reopen, the Get, Gather, Go initiative moves forward. We encourage you to get informed on how it's safe to go out, gather together with family and friends, and go spend locally by supporting local restaurants and shops, all while still observing personal protection guidelines. Let's support our amazing city. Post a picture while you're out and use the hashtag #WeLoveOcala. For more information, visit WeLoveOcala.com.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track. Focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Today will be mostly sunny, though there will be a shower or thunderstorm in some spots. High today, 88 to 90. For tonight, turning out to be clear to partly cloudy, low 70 to 74. For tomorrow, sun and clouds throughout the day with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon. Thursday's high 84 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Kevin Snyder.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish, we also offer rototilling and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
Pals Ocala Auto Repair fixes all makes and models. Pals makes sure that your vehicle's engine, mechanical, and electrical components are healthy at all times. Pals team would much rather see you drive to their shop for a full checkup than be towed in for a complex repair. Give Pals a call today to schedule your next service appointment. 352-414-2984. What? A nationwide warranty, 36 months or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first? Pals looks forward to servicing you and servicing your vehicle. 352-414-2984.
Hi, this is Will.
And this is Wendy of Dex Imaging in Gainesville and Ocala. You know, we live and work in this community just like you, and we wanted to personally invite you to call us with any questions or concerns about your copiers or printers.
Like, how can I save money on my toner? That stuff's expensive.
In most cases, a complimentary workflow analysis has shown we can save your business 20 to 30% on printing cost.
Have you been kicking around the idea of going paperless? Are you considering a document management solution? Maybe you just want to ask some questions, but don't want to be be bombarded by aggressive salespeople.
Give us a call. We'll be happy to answer your questions and show you how you can save money with our award-winning copiers and printers and our amazing service team.
Who, in case you didn't know, will be there in 4 hours or less to service your machine guaranteed, and we have a 97% first-time fix rate. Check us out at deximaging.com or give us a call.
In Ocala, dial 352-433-4090. That's 433-4090.
WOCA. Ocala.
Listening to AIM Ocala Live, WOCA, The Source, as we're moving through here 8 minutes before the top of the 11 o'clock hour, as we're pretty much just finishing up for you on this day in history, as we take a look at some of the events that took place on this day, June 17th, as we touch base there with back in 1631 on this day in history, the beginnings of, well, the Taj Mahal back in 1631. We mentioned on this day in history, 1885, that the Statue of Liberty arrived in New York, packed in 241 crates as a gift from France. And then moving on a little bit now, I think I mentioned 1947, but I wanted to talk about 1928, as it was on this day in history that Amelia Earhart embarked on the first transatlantic flight by a woman back in 1928, as Amelia Earhart, born in July 24th of 1897, disappeared July 2nd, 1937, and was declared dead, as they say, on January 5th, was an American aviation pioneer and author. Earhart was the first female aviator to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. She set many records, wrote best-selling books about her flying experiences, and was instrumental in the formation of the 99s, an organization of female pilots. It says, born in Atchison, Kansas, Earhart developed a passion for adventure at a young age, steadily gaining flying experience from her 20s. In 1928, Earhart became the first female passenger to cross the Atlantic by airplane, accompanying pilot Wilmer Stoltz, for which she achieved celebrity status. And in 1932, piloting a Lockheed Vega 5B, Earhart made a non-stop solo transatlantic flight, becoming the first woman to achieve such a feat, as she received the United States Distinguished Flying Cross for this accomplishment. It says in 1935, Amelia Earhart, there we go, became a visiting faculty member of the Purdue University as an advisor to the Aeronautical Engineering and Career Council to women's students. She also was a member of the National Woman's Party and early supporter of Equal Rights Amendment during an attempt to make a circumnavigational flight of the globe back in 1937 in a Purdue-funded Lockheed Model 10 Echo Electra. Earhart and navigation Fred Noonan disappeared over the central Pacific Ocean near Howland Island, and with that, never two had been ever found since then, which is incredible. Now, one thing is crazy is just the flying experiences, early flying experiences, as they say. About that time, Earhart and young woman friend visited an airfield held in conjunction with the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto, and one of the highlights of the day was a flying exhibition. Having trouble talking here. Put on by World War I ace. It says the pilot spotted Earhart and her friend, who was watching from an isolated clearing, and dived at them, saying, "I'm sure," he said to himself, "watch me make them scrapper." But she stood her ground as the aircraft came close and didn't understand at the time, she said, but believed it was a little red airplane. It said something to me as it swished by. It was by 1919 that Earhart prepared to enter Smith College, but changed her mind and enrolled at Columbia University in a course in medical studies, amongst other programs, And then she quit a year later to be with her parents. And then it was in Long Beach in 1920 that they visited an airfield where Frank Hawks, who gained later fame as an air racer, gave her a ride that would forever change Amelia Earhart's life. And by the time I had gotten 200 or 300 feet off the ground, she said, I knew I had to fly. And what's pretty cool about that is, as an instructor here in Ocala at our Ocala airport with the Ocala Flight School, is everybody's got a story of something like that when they become a pilot, just something that they got bitten by the bug, so to speak, or some moment that they have of their first flight, or something passionate that makes them feel an emotion towards flying. And it's interesting to hear hers, but pretty cool nonetheless. And as we're coming now towards the top of the 11 o'clock hour, as that'll do it for our show here, AM Ocala Live. That'll do it for the segment of On This Day in History within AM Ocala Live. We had a good show for you today. We had a lot going on. Avilio, thanks to him. Thanks to Galen. Thanks to Laura Burns and Dale French, Career Source. Thanks to Dr. Adam Rubenstein. Glad to have him back every now and then to talk a little bit about what's going on with that and all that good stuff. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Another good show lined up, as is Thursday Veterans News, and we might even have him here in the studio, which will be good. As we have Veterans News on Thursdays, and of course County Commission, which will be good stuff there too. So stay tuned for tomorrow's AM Ocala Live. A lot of good stuff there. For today, thank you everybody who's listening, and until tomorrow, goodbye.